हेलो एवरीवन। आज हम डिस्कस करेंगे राइट टू इक्वालिटी आर्टिकल 14 के लिए। तो अब हम पहले देखेंगे आर्टिकल 14 कहता क्या है। द स्टेट शैल नॉट डिनाई टू एनी पर्सन इक्वालिटी बिफोर द लॉ और द इक्वल प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ द लॉ विद इन द टेरिटरी ऑफ द इंडिया। अब इसके लिए हमें आर्टिकल 14 को 4 पार्ट में डिवाइड करना होगा। जैसे कि पहला जो पार्ट है वो कहेगा हमारा द स्टेट, यानी जो स्टेट है वो डिनाई नहीं करेगी किसी भी पर्सन को इक्वालिटी। इसमें कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है वो स्टेट पे ऑब्लिगेशन डाल देता है जिसमें कि स्टेट को डिस्क्रिमिनेट नहीं करना किसी भी इंसान को इक्वालिटी को लेके। स्टेट के ऊपर एक ऑब्लिगेशन है टू नॉट डिनाई, किसी को भी डिनाई नहीं करेगा वो एनी पर्सन। अब सेकंड पार्ट क्या हमारा एनी पर्सन। अब एनी पर्सन में हमारा सिटीजन भी हो सकता है और नॉन सिटीजन भी हो सकता है। यानी इससे क्या पता चला, हमारा नेचुरल पर्सन आ गया, नेचुरल पर्सन आ गया। ठीक है, तो इसका मतलब आर्टिकल 14 अप्लाइज टू नेचुरल पर्सन और साथ में इसमें जूरिस पर्सन भी आते हैं। जूरिस पर्सन यानी कंपनीज और कॉर्पोरेट्स भी आ गए। तो आर्टिकल 14 इज एप्लीकेबल अपॉन द नेचुरल पर्सन एज वेल एज द जूरिस पर्सन। नाउ इट इज़ एन इक्विटेबल राइट, यानी ये एक इक्विटेबल राइट है विच प्रोवाइड्स द इक्वालिटी टू ऑल द पर्सन। सो द रूल इज एप्लीकेबल ऑन ऑल द पीपल, citizen as well as the non-citizen. So the right to equality is based upon the concept of the rule of law, which means that the law is supreme. It is a replica of the rule of law only. The concept was given by the Dicey, which said that the law is supreme, no one is above law. Government and the people governed will be treated equally before the law, and no person of any status is above the law. Okay. Now the concept of the equality is found in the preamble as well as the article 14. If we look into the preamble, we will look that there it's mentioned that equality of status and opportunity. So it's mentioned there. Now the next slide. Equality before the law. The first concept of the right to equality is equality before law. This concept was taken from UK. And the another concept is equal protection of law. The concept was taken from USA. Okay, both these concepts are important as this is asked in the paper. So the concept equality before the law, it's a negative concept, and the equal protection of the law, it's a positive concept. So the first concept, which is negative concept, that is equality before the law, it states that no special privilege in favor of anyone, that all the people are equal before the law and that should be treated equally whatever be their rank or condition. No one is above the law. However, this is not the absolute rule. There are a number of exceptions which we will discuss later. And the second concept is equal protection of law. The equal protection of law, as we discussed earlier, it's a positive concept. So it does not mean that identically the same law, but it means that the law should be applicable on all the person based on the similarity. To further explain it, it does not mean that identically the same law should apply to all the person, or that law must have a universal application within the country irrespective of the difference of circumstances. Equal protection of law does not postulate equal treatment to all the person without distinction. So without distinction we cannot apply law on all the people. There has to be some distinction. It states that same law should be applicable upon the people that are alike, okay, and without discrimination. It donates equality of treatment in equal circumstances. It implies that among equals the law should be equal and equally administered, that like should be treated alike without discrimination. Okay, so it's a dynamic concept. And equal protection of law, not important that law should be applicable on all the person in the same manner. So there is no universal applicability of this. We can take the example of 5-year child and the person of 50 years. So the demands of each person will be different, and the circumstances in which they are living will be different. So law will be applicable differently on both the person. Now next slide. Now the concept of equality, as I have discussed earlier, that there has to be distinction. So the distinction that has to be made, that should be reasonable. There should be reasonable classification, which ensures that equality among the equal. It does not guarantee absolute equality. As I discussed earlier, there are certain exceptions to it. We will discuss it. It only guarantees the similarity of the treatment. It prohibits class legislation. We cannot make a class and say that in all this class the law will be applicable. The class legislation will only be applicable if they are reasonably classified. If we reasonably classify certain class of person or certain group, then we can apply the law upon them. It means that if a legislation classify reasonably any person for legislative purpose, then it is not open to challenge on the ground of denial of equal treatment. Okay. Now for the reasonable classification, there are certain tests that has been propounded by the judges. First is Buddhan Chaudhary versus State of Bihar. Supreme Court laid down two tests for determining that the classification is reasonable or not. First was intangible differentia, and the other was differentia should have some nexus with the statute or the law made, which means that the differentia or the difference that is made should be intangible, that there should be proper distinction between the people, that these people are different from them or they are weaker section of the society, and the laws made in relation to that weaker section should have some nexus with the differentia. Okay. Now on the next slide. Legislation applicable upon the single person. Single body can form a class. Single person can form a class. This means that any person who has done any offense or any special offense, so in special circumstances, upon such person the rule of Article 14 will be applied. This was held in Chiranjit Lal Chaudhary versus Union of India. The other was Special Court and Procedure Classification. That was State of West Bengal versus Anwar Ali Sarkar. In this, the court held that a special procedure can be made for a particular type of person or the particular type of offense, and it does not violate the Article 14. So these are the concepts of test of reasonable classifications. Now the other concept was, which has been developed recently, that is doctrine of anti-arbitrariness. This is a new approach. It was held in E.P. Royappa versus State of Tamil Nadu, that the Article 14 guarantee against the arbitrariness. As we have discussed earlier, that the Constitution has made obligation upon the state that it will not do any act which is arbitrary in nature. Now the exceptions are there. Starting with the first three exceptions, these are the exceptions that are applicable upon the president and the governor upon certain circumstances, and the next two are applicable upon the MP, that are member of parliament, upon certain circumstances. Article 31C states that DPSP, if any law is made under Article 39, then it will not be considered as violative of Article 14. The foreigners, sovereigns, diplomats, ambassador who enjoys the diplomatic immunities, on them Article 14 will not be applicable. That's all. Thanks for watching. Hope you like the video. Please do like, subscribe our channel. Thank you.